This project was performed in order to understand the spending and visiting patterns of London's tourists from different countries and what characteristics will lead travelers to stay over their approved visa period. In this project, we are going to answer the following questions. First, what are the spending and visiting patterns of London's tourists? Second, the differences between EU nations and non-EU nations on their spending and visiting patterns in London. Third, what are the main factors that contributed to tourists' overstay? Fourth, tourists from which countries have the highest probability of overstay? The information regarding whether a person overstayed their approved visa period is classified, but we were able to find a strong positive correlation between people staying over 15 days and people overstay on their visa. Hence, in this project, we're going to be mainly focusing on finding what drives people staying over 15 days. First, we're going to look at the visits and the money spent by the London visitors. The bigger and the bluer the dot means the more money spent during the specific year. As we can see here, there is a general uptrend for the amount of people visiting London and the sum of money they spend in London. There is a dip from year 2006 to 2009. We suspect that this decline is due to the global financial crisis. There are 64 countries in total, which includes 19 EU nations and 45 non-EU nations. There is a general uptrend for both EU and non-EU nations. The number of visitors from EU nations is almost always more than the visitors from non-EU nations. The drop we observed in the previous graph is observed here in the non-EU trend. When we grouped the visits by countries, we can see that US has the biggest number of visitors and followed by France and Germany. Most of the countries on top of the list are EU nations except for Australia and the USA. When we look at the money spent by different countries, we rank the countries are very similar to the previous graph. Hence, the more the visit from certain countries, the more money people spend from the respective country. We then built a machine learning model to predict whether a person from a specific country is going to overstay on their approved visa period. Our model has overall 81% accuracy rate. The most important variable that affected the probability that a person is going to overstay is the number of visits prior to this trip. The higher the number of visits prior to this trip, the less likely this person is going to overstay their approved visa. The other important variables are including spend and purpose. The countries have the highest probability of overstaying are listed here. In order to reduce the chance of people overstaying their visa, we suggest the UK government grant shorter visa periods and limit the amount of money people can spend in one trip. Thank you.